Black tax is a financial expectation placed on black working class individuals to support both their immediate and their extended family. So this support comes in various forms, either paying for school fees, or it can also come in the form of contributing to household expenses, so expenses such as rent or groceries, or really everyday expenses such as transport, airtime, etc. Amongst the popular themes that have been covered, there's a theme around guilt, there's a theme around dependency, there's a theme around obligation, and there's a theme around dishonesty. So I'll unpack these for you. In terms of the theme around guilt, the more popular view is that there are individuals who feel guilty, well, who as a result of their success begin to hide their money from their family. Because of the guilt that is experienced. For, say, example, when you visit a family member and you are sporting the latest clothing wear and they can barely afford to put food on the table. However, I feel a view that hasn't been covered in terms of guilt is the guilt that is experienced by those individuals that feel like they are not doing enough for their families. And then onto the theme of dependency. A popular view on dependency is that once a black taxed individual starts working, they've got family members back at home waiting for their portion of the money. So they are not actively seeking employment. They're just waiting, they just sit waiting for their money to come through. However, I believe not enough emphasis has been placed on people who are actually dependent on these individuals to make better lives for themselves. So, for example, a relative that you are helping out with paying for their school fees. And then there's the theme around obligation. And obligation speaks to black tax being something that every single black person has to start paying as soon as they start working. While this is true to some degree, I believe that framing it as an obligation is not necessarily valid, because on the flip side of that, you've got individuals who, even as interns or working part-time jobs, feel the need to support their family because they understand the situation that their family is in and want to help. So even with the little that they do have, it's not an obligation to help, but rather a desire to help. And then there's the theme around dishonesty, which talks to really people being dishonest about how much they make, because the more you make, then the larger the expectation on you. However, there is also an opposite to that, where people are not honest about how little they make, because they don't want their families to feel like they are putting them out of pocket. So there is no true or false or right or wrong in this whole thing. It's more about appreciating the differences and not trying to adopt an all-encompassing approach to defining the life of the black taxed individual. I believe the real opportunity lies in understanding, and that's true understanding, and not appreciating the dynamics that are at play often result in uncovering perceived insight rather than actual insight. So I'll give you an example of an agency, Monkey Concept Advertising, that's focused on the black middle class. There are varying dynamics at play within the black middle class, and they believe that you can't adopt a one-size-fits-all approach when defining the black middle class. So the popular view is that when talking about the black middle class is abundance. However, people don't cover issues such as asset deficit, over-indebtedness, and there actually is more money to be spent within that demographic than people initially perceive.